Bismillah. We're just in the halfway through Shaban. This is the 14th night of Shaban, the full moon of Shaban. And this is the month before Ramadan begins. And already, if you're awake at dawn, for the dawn prayer, you can feel the breeze of Ramadan blowing, letting you know that Ramadan is coming. And for most Muslims, it's a month they look forward to. And it's a month in which you can refresh your heart, recharge your batteries, and take stock of your life. It's a taste of what happens when you die, because when you die and your spirit has left your body, you can no longer eat or drink. And when you're fasting, you can't eat or drink. So it's a taste of that. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ramadan is the cure of the illness of the year before it. And Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Sufi said, in Ramadan is the meaning of the year ahead. And so often you find, if you're aware of what happens during your Ramadan, it's almost as if seeds are planted during that month. And then for the 11 months after that, you see them growing and flourishing and bearing fruit. And this is why it's very important to fill your Ramadan with dhikr of Allah. Fast not only from the outward of the food and the drink, and if you're married from sexual relations, but also of the inward of it. So it means you're fasting from thinking about these things. And then if you're really fasting, you're not even thinking about food or drink or sexual relations, because you've zipped up your mouth. You've opened up an arena of reflection in your heart in which you can reflect about life. And the thing about Ramadan is that there are three distinct parts to it. The Prophet ﷺ said in the first part, you taste the mercy of Allah. Part of that mercy is just the joy of breaking the fast at the end of the day, just to have something cool to drink and something to eat, and just to bask in the Taraweeh prayers. And then as the fasting begins to have an effect on you, you find that you begin to go inward. And in the second third of Ramadan, you taste the maghfirah of Allah, you taste the forgiveness of Allah. And part of this is you're realizing that whatever mistakes you've made, it really doesn't matter. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever turns away from wrong action is like the person who doesn't have wrong action. And so you see this in yourself, that okay, you made some mistakes, you can move on. It's water under the bridge. Don't let go of them. Don't hang on to them. Don't whip yourself. But then also there's another aspect, that you look at the people around you, and maybe in the rest of the year you were finding fault with them, not realizing that you were seeing your own faults mirrored in them. But you also realize again that they are good people. And so this forgiveness of Allah is something that is about yourself, but it's also about how you see other people. And then the last third of Ramadan, which is the best third, is the freedom from the fire. And if you think about it, if you're free from the fire, what else can you have but a taste of the garden? And this is you find that really the first 2/3 of Ramadan were just softening you up for the last third, to taste freedom from the fire. And you have such peace in your heart. Fasting is effortless, and Taraweeh is a joy, because the meaning of Taraweeh is to become ruh, and therefore this is what you taste. It's as if you are already in the garden. And so it's more than just a preparation for death, it's a preparation for what comes after death, which after the barzakh in the grave and after the day of rising, the qiyamah, inshallah, it means crossing the sirat and entering the garden, drinking from the hawd of the Prophet ﷺ, being with the Prophet and the awliya and the salihin and all their companions, to be with the ones you loved and inshallah the ones who loved you. So this is what you look forward to. And beyond that, you look forward to the vision of Allah. And the Rasul ﷺ said, in the garden you will see Allah as clearly as you see the sun at midday when there's no cloud in the sky. You will see Allah as clearly as the full moon at night when there's no cloud in the sky. And people's partners, when they come back from this vision, they'll say, you look even more beautiful than before you went. And one of the wonderful aspects of being in the garden is that everyone there thinks that Allah's given them the best place in it. You know, even if you've only just managed to get there with one step through one of the 8 gates, you think you've got the best place in the whole of the garden. So this is what you get a taste of. And then you find you're ready for the next year. So as you fast your Ramadan, be aware of these stages within it. Make the most of it. And you will taste not only the mercy of Allah, but the Rahim, the Rahman, the mercy of Allah is everywhere. It covers everything, as the snow covers everything in the countryside when it snows. But the Rahim is an extra dose of compassion. And for example, it's tasting the Laylatul Qadr, it's being awake and aware when the Laylatul Qadr comes, that special night which is better than 1,000 months, when you can, really whatever dua you make will be granted. And the night on which the Quran was revealed. This is something that only the people who fast taste. And also the breaking of the fast. The Rasul said, the one who fasts has 2 rewards. One when you break your fast, and one when you meet your Lord. And so the Ramadan really is a preparation, not for breaking the fast, but for meeting your Lord, for drawing nearer to Allah. And as Allah said, my slave does not cease to come closer to me by acts of worship and acts which are pleasing to me. So that if he or she takes 1 step towards me, I take 10 steps towards them. And if they come to me walking, I come to them running, until I love them. And when I love them, I am the hand with which they grasp, and the foot with which they tread, and the tongue with which they speak. And this is the state that we all look for in Ramadan. And inshallah, it then keeps us going until the next Ramadan. The Rasul said, from one Laylatul Qadr to the next Laylatul Qadr, all your wrong actions are forgiven. And he said that from Juma to Juma, and from prayer to prayer, and from wudu to wudu. So we are a people who are always purifying ourselves outwardly and inwardly. But Ramadan is the big purification. The meaning of Ramadan means to cook a sheep in its own skin. You open the sheep up, you take out the entrails, then you sew up the skin again, and you cook it on a slow heat. And then the meat is lovely and tender and tasty. And this is how it is in Ramadan. You sew up, you get rid of all the rubbish, you sew up your mouth, and you get tenderized. So enjoy it, it's a gift.